Making it as accessible to people with that are differently able or come from different socioeconomic backgrounds as much as possible. Uh, one cannot achieve universal accessibility, so sometimes you have to make decisions, but the goal is always to try to maximize it as much as you possibly can. Mm-hmm. Captioning also captures background noise and stuff like that. Subtitling is just uh, the linguistic content. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which is on top of our chirons. Yeah. What else is new today? It was good. I read a lot. Yeah. I got a haircut. L'Oreal finally was comfortable enough cutting my hair. Or else my wife, for those who don't, my partner. Mm-hmm. All right, I can raise my volume. Let me go to, I'm using a new sound gear that I also got for Christmas. This obnoxious AirPods. They're the AirPods Pro, which are super bougie, but also magical. Hold on. I am going to raise the volume. Uh, the sound has been working really great on other Zoom calls, and right now I'm saying my sound has been good with the AirPods in a lot of other calls. Um, so something is different here in this setup. Hold on a second. We want sound to be good though, so let me take them off. Maybe the mic from the computer works better. The thing is that I have noise cancellation here on this one. And because they're also doing stuff around the house and I don't want the sound to come in here. But it looks like actually Zoom comes with its own noise cancellation. So let me see. And let me same as so. All right, how's that? Well, now I'm using the oh, the camera comes with its own microphone. How about this? Hello? It's much better. Got it. So this is a better sound. And I added and so I added also the suppressed background noise from Zoom itself. So the software is going to be doing a little bit more work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna put together a new show that's probably gonna start around April, maybe May, because I want to design it really well. Around advanced research techniques, extraordinary, weird research techniques, and it's going to be a kind of variety show. It's not going to be focused on one project. Every episode is going to have its own theme and even a different structure, perhaps. So some of the episodes will be like a workshop. Some of the episodes will be like interviewing guests. Say, so for example, somebody like 2 or 3 people that found, each of them found manuscripts that were thought lost or that nobody even knew existed. Have a show about that. Other show ideas that I've had already include how to do a workshop on how to do bots that actually go out there and pay attention for you and find information for you. So like another machine researchers.
I wanted to do a show on the rapid research type work that we did, etc. So the idea is kind of like a variety show that goes on, changes the theme, its structure as it goes along, but with a focus on advanced research that hopefully will be useful to like our colleagues in the faculty and graduate students who are still like very green when it comes to the techniques. So it's not really about research writ large, which includes, how to structure ideas or how to, style your writing in a particular way. This really is going to be about techniques of research. We're thinking of calling, I did a survey on how to call the show on Twitter, and most people voted out of 50 votes for like an overwhelming amount, about half of them voted for the title, How to Find Shit. I don't, uh, uh, I think I'm going to spell it How to Find Shit with an asterisk to try to get it past our communications office. Science, humanities, etc., with and technologies. How to find stuff in science, humanities, etc., being the asterisk, and technology. Well, that's what the asterisk is there in the humanities, is to include social sciences. In the humanities, we like to include the sciences as an asterisk, something we've started doing in digital humanities a long time ago, and it's a running joke, and we like to keep it going like that. Hi, social scientists. Anyways, no, I'll find something clever that where sh asterisk t it can allay the Puritan anxieties of our communications office and our leadership team, because that is what faculty want. Faculty wants this to be called How to Find Shit. It actually does communicate pretty well what it is about. So I am going to design a package for that and present it all to people, whether it's called that or not. Hopefully, we'll start this as one of the new studio remote shows in like towards the end of the spring. So I guess it will work when I'm actually walking around and I'm actually talking on the phone on the AirPods, because I mean I don't need that to sound other than like I'm talking on the phone. But for this, I think I'll use the computer one, but I also have some gear coming in from our dear employer. This is the last bit of gear that our employer got me, that I requested. One was the ring light that I have now. The other is the camera that I'm using to talk now. Our employer has like these standard now products that they're getting for people who are doing instruction. So I got that. I got a tablet that I do want to test, because Zoom has like a doodle function, and I did want to test uh, if that will work for like a whiteboard for us today, if you are amenable to doing that testing. Uh, yeah. You think it will hip up a little bit? Yeah. Right. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Y- You let me know when it's a good time to test that, and I'll go get the tablet, which is right in front. I'm looking at it, but I do have to get up from this chair. Um,
and do this. And there we go. Whoop. Hey, it's me.
That's trippy. What is going on?
So this is my phone. So this is the situation I'm in. So this is the more behind the scenes coverage. This is the production computer where all the producing is going on. Here is Alex on Zoom. Here is OBS where I manage what's going on. So if I change the and I can go back here, and we're back to my phone camera. And then there's the Windows machine, and then here is the live stream on the Mac. And if I were to switch this to the Mac desktop, of what's in the Mac here. That's a mess, but it's actually in much better shape than it was. And there you go. So I thought I may have to show some of this, but the main reason for having this is because I can very easily just go like this.
Jeremiah is saying to mute one of the channels. That's a good one. Yeah, I wanted to do something like that, and in fact, my ring light, which is right there, also comes with it's a tripod, and it comes with a thing that I can attach like a gaff. And I was thinking of doing that too, but I also the tablet is not working really great on my work computer. I'm talking to you guys on my personal Air Mac, which is not that powerful. And in fact, I'm glad the audience got to see Moisier's production setup, because when I do how to find shit, is going to be with just one computer. So I'm gonna have to reinvent some of the things we do here, because I'm not gonna have as much power as Moisier. And actually, I'm even thinking of skipping the Twitch and doing directly on YouTube just because of that. Yeah, I mean, just skip a little bit of the processing power that it takes to do Twitch, then YouTube. Right. I'm gonna have guests and stuff like that. So one of the things that I might have to happen is to skip the OBS. I have to test a bunch of stuff in order to see how it goes. But the other thing, I was talking to Jeremiah today about this, I might do that one a little different than this one, with 30 minutes of pre-made videos. So we have our internship. Yeah, for other kinds of content, what I'm thinking is having like a live portion with the phone calls where we answer questions and engage with the audience. Because if you don't have that, it kind of defeats the purpose. But with this one, what I'm thinking of is preparing, setting aside like 6 or 8 hours of the week, like one day a week, to prepare a 30-minute video or a 20-minute video, depending on the theme. And this is going to help if we can get that internship going again, our digital interns program, if we can get it running again, because then I can get a little help to prepare those videos. And the idea is that people would have a little time to watch it. So it's a little bit of a flipped classroom. People have a little bit of time to watch them before I meet with the guest or my co-host. Once in a while, I think my co-host is going to be Rupika Risam at Salem State University. because she's amazing at finding stuff, and I think she'd be a great co-host for this. But she can only commit to sometimes, right? So once in a while she'll come in, and we'll have a live show to have a conversation with other people in the community, answer questions, but also bring in people, more people, etc. So the idea there is that I might skip the OBS and just have that portion just be the Zoom straight to YouTube, just because of processing power, because I don't have the hardware you have. I am convinced. My wife, on the other hand, believes that this house should look a particular way. It's a small apartment, and it's not. I lost that argument many years ago when my small writing desk disappeared because it didn't match. So, okay, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Kay. Mhm. How did it work so that you get it to record on a different channel with higher quality, so that we can upload higher quality to YouTube? Uh, mhm. Because you're recording directly from camera and I'm recording over Zoom. Is that what's happening? Right. 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 Wait, but on the video, you and me show up as gallery, right? Not as like the way I'm looking at it. I'm big and you're small? Always? I was under the impression that we were side by side. It's because you like it this way. Because this is not fair. It's like I'm the king and you are like a subject. Uh, like, hey, Monsieur, hey, down there. You're looking in the wrong way. You get, yeah, exactly. Hey, it's like the Brady Bunch over here. Uh, this is our show. I'm not calling in. You're not the host of this show, and like I'm the caller in it. Uh, right. No, I get why I look like this. The because you don't have it in gallery mode. You have it in speaker mode. Am I gonna have to do that for mine? No, I just didn't know that that's how it was being like gonna end up as a final product. Like with me always on screen as the main show, and you always tiny there down there in the bottom. Right, because we spend most of the time with. I get that part that we actually spend most of the time with your screen on. So I guess it works out. Yeah. Right. 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 We already did. Thank you for the salary, Colombia. We cashed in already. Cashing in every month. Right. How did you do that? How did you set up the different audio channels? What are you? What were the steps you took to set up the different to break the sound like that? You want to share your screen? Mm-hmm. Okay, but then go ahead. Just ask me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. No. Right. I just heard it very far away. Yeah. Ding, doo, doo, ding. Right. Mm-hmm. Mhm. Yeah. Thank you. I was born for this. Yep. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about where we left off last year. So, yeah, well, I was waiting for you to fire it up so I could see it and remember. Oh, so for that, so for I doubt that there will be anybody coming in new at this point. If you're hearing this episode, it's because you were here before, or you're following the series along. Because this series in particular is one of those, despite the comments we made about highlights above, this series is one in which the whole point of the series is to see everything, every step of a project from beginning to end. There's nothing hidden. There's nothing we do outside of this call, outside of this show, in order to make this project advance. We are literally building everything. Sorry, Siri started. Could you please repeat it? Siri started. Thought I was talking to her for a second. She thinks every song is about it. But anyway, so the whole point of this one of Rose Hole is we're building a project live, and we're capturing everything about how to build our project on video. So this is one of those in which you can see the highlights, but you won't get much out of it. The point is the experience of watching the whole thing from scratch as a learning journey. And you already pulled it up, so we can see where we were, where we left off. We had like about 7 episodes. The Rose Hole Project focuses on centering the lives of the enslaved at Rose Hole Plantation in Jamaica. Rose Hole Plantation is probably one of the largest tourist attractions in Jamaica. It is as the name implies, one of these tourist sites centered on an old plantation building. It is done in the same style that most of these are done in the United States. In fact, the people who own the company that run the show are an American company, a Republican lady from Vermont, I think, I remember. The details are easily verifiable online. In any case, the way that the plantation show is run and the tours actually, as it is in the United States, does not center the lives of the people that worked in it, that suffered in it, the cruelties of slavery. And this project, along with many other efforts that are happening now around the memory sector, the GLAM sector, galleries, libraries, archives, and museums, is to recenter the subject as another form of the long game of recovery and of the silences in history and the archive. So in particular, we're working with a data set to do our job. We're working with a data set that was gathered by Professor Celia Naylor of Barnard University in Columbia's history department, who is writing a monograph on Rose Hall Plantation right now as we speak. It should be coming out at the end of this year or next year. And this project is a sister project to her monograph, and takes the names and little information we have from these enslaved folk to create a sort of visual record that speaks a little bit of their kin relationships to each other, and a little bit of suggests a little bit of what their lives were like, using the idioms of data visualization and digital humanities. Of course, centering the lives of the enslaved can be done in many ways. All of them share one thing. We are dealing with a record that is mostly incomplete, skewed, biased, because it was written by the plantation owners, the colonizers themselves. So this is no different for our project. But we're doing our best, and this is where we are right now, using the data that we have, this sort of imperfect data, and using our idioms, our graphic idioms of visualization to center these lives. Right now we're working with fake data that resembles the original data, and Moseer had a rationale for that. One that I don't necessarily agree with, but is the one we went with, is we're using fake data. That's in episode 3 or 4, those arguments were laid out. Well, you don't need to rehash them. It is part of the record, a much better record than the one that we're working with here. So, I think the too long didn't read version of it is like, it's too much time. Let's just, it's quicker just not to go over making fake models. Your argument was that it's useful anyways to learn how to make fake models, besides the fact that you didn't want to expose the data of a book that is not published yet, that doesn't belong to us. Okay, fair enough. So, yeah, fair enough. So, anyways, here we are. So Crystal, Reed, Walter, and Brianna that you're looking at are not actual names of the enslaved there. They were randomly generated. And the data that is propelling this graph, which is our initial visualization attempt, is also not based on real data. And neither are these little cards that show up when you click on the names. Anyway, and this is where we are right now. Where we are going is to have more or less a visualization that allows us to communicate a little bit of the kin relationships between these folks, and a little bit of their time spent in Rose Hall Plantation, when they arrived, where they and when they left or died in the plantation. And all of this takes place at the end of the 18th century and the first half of the 19th century. Did you want to add anything else to that recap, Monsieur? Yes, we should take a break. It is our tradition to take a break at around this time. So. Sounds good. Yes, we are. Um, it was good. I looked at a couple emails. Was not trying to create a filter from a certain mailing list that I don't want to receive emails from anymore. And that's that. How was yours? Uh, we need. We just started working on the D3. We need to actually keep on working on the D3 to make it do what we wanted to do in the end. So, which is still not even there, not even close to being there. So I was thinking that should be the focus of this session and the next session. And I think that's where we started. After the D3 is doing what we really needed to do, then I think the next step should be to connect it to the card thing on the side. That's probably going to take 1 or 2 sessions. And then after that, the idea is to now then design. And by design, I mean polish how we want everything to look. Right. No, but later on, because that right now we're doing functionality first. Later on, because we already did like beginning design, just like general strokes, like with a hatchet, you know. And then we bring out the paintbrushes later, the thin paintbrushes after the functionality is there. And that's going to take 1 or 2 sessions to get this looking like a professional website. And then after that, we bring in Celia, and we start, and then we will do some work behind the scenes, but nothing that the audience will miss much, which is like the essay and the bibliography and the credits page. We won't write it in front of you. Like literally, this is just writing a document. So we can probably write that document off screen. I don't think we need to teach people how to write. And then we'll talk a little bit about that. Right, it's not our job though. It's not our job. Like there are a lot more people doing that kind of training than what we're here for. We are rare in the kind of training we do. In the That sounds great. Most of the people on Twitch are streaming video games, and that has large audiences because it's popular culture. Is that what that guy's doing? Yeah, that's great. That's what we're here to teach are very arcane arts with very few adepts. So as long as you understand that we're not teaching revolution of the watered down variety, we should be fine. So, and anyways, I think that should, all of that adds up to about 8 or 10 episodes that will wrap this up by the end of the spring, if my calculations are correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Let me bust out my calculator. Hold on. Mhm. 1817. Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. We need to fix it. All right, let me think about it. Well, obviously, we need to uh, make it impossible for somebody to be. Uh, what are you thinking? Oh man, then why are you like stop with the pedagogical treatment? Imagine we're working and we're just keeping moving along. What I like, I'm not like. What, is this how you teach in real life? Like you asked me to deduct, 26 from 32 earlier. And come on, man, if you have the answer, go ahead. Like seriously. I'm making fun of the fact that you just asked me to do a subtraction of six. Like why is he asking me? Don't enable him. Don't enable him, Kay. Right. Right, so we can create a small donut effect. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah, you describe it. You know what you're doing. It's also in the, by the way, it's also in the last video. We had a little commentary already. In terms of pedagogy, that's covered already. It makes things, so for another way of saying it, because I don't think we said it like this the last time. It's actually literally in the last episode. We had like 3 or 4 minutes on this that where he did his pedagogical thing and I answered. I think one way to describe it is that it actually makes things of relative size rather than absolute size. That's one way of thinking about it. It's a good way of like not making things kind of stick to absolute values that would distort the image and what they actually is communicating. It tells you what the domain under which you are operating is. But that's one different way than say it, than the last time that we said it. Right. You know, I have forgotten that we actually learned about this in algebra when we were kids. I totally, it's completely, I mean, you think I remember anything from high school? Uh, I remember who were the mean guys. Right. And if you put in, exactly. Right. We cannot see your screen right now because yeah, just scroll down, just scroll down. No, because the video is on top of what you're typing. There you go. Is the height of the whole thing. So of the visualization. So it's like this is actually because it's a circle. Yeah, so it's yeah, so the height is the whole diameter, but you just want the radius. So that's what you divide it by 2. Well, uh, don't you have to offset it in a hard way in order to do that? Because 0 would imply to me the corner of the bottom corner of the thing. But how does it know to do it that way? You don't have to. I mean, sometimes there are a lot of things about code and other people's code and functions that I just accept as like they wrote it and it does this. I'm not going to ask why. Yeah, so 0 is going to be at the center. Then you got to have a different value there if you want to start at another place other than the center. Yeah, it's a donut. Yeah. Visually, we need to. I would increase it to 30. Let's see what 30 is. You wouldn't? Remember, we're also, these wedges are going to be way thinner also. Let me see. Ah, there he goes. I'm literally imagining you in the classroom, man, asking your students these kinds of things. You know what? We teach very differently. In my classroom, when I wanted my students to talk, I would just create little groups and let them go off on the side and talk to me while I look at my Twitter. Uh, Go ahead. Yeah, that's that's more like it. But we're gonna have to do like 400, not 500. That's a good way. Do it with values that are not pixels, but actual like VH and VMA and VH. And, yeah, we can do that. This height, we want 5%, so let's do it divided by 20, and that's it. 100 by oh, because it's not 100. No, yeah, you confuse me. You see, that's you can now you can't even ask questions like what? Now you're tricking students. What the heck? It is 5%. I didn't say 25%. I said 5%. Oh, because you wanted to be at the same level as what 30 would be, as what 30 would be. No, but what I was saying is not forget about what 30 would be. Just make it 5% of the thing, or even 10% of the thing. There you go. That works. It's fine. It looks good. It's proportional. Yeah. Right. Everything is 1817. So except for the exclamation point. This looks like a good logo, by the way, with anything that has an exclamation point. Look at that. Huh. Anyways, in any case, uh, except for that wedge on the top, yes. So, but that seems to be an issue with values, where there's only one value that is not 1817. There, after 1817, there is only one value, that one. Everything else seems to have that value before. Yeah, so it's either that value or before. So we need to adjust this graph to actually take. No, sorry. I was going to say we need to do before 1817. Right. Mm-hmm. It's scale it in the other way. Yeah, but we also gonna might have to need to actually increase the. Um, but why are we doing this around the magical date of 1817? Uh, the graph doesn't have to have a magical date. The graph itself could actually depart from the earliest known value. I mean, I'm saying it's like, and after that, we can draw based on the earliest known value and the latest known value. Right. But if we find what the earliest known value is and what the biggest known value is and scale that, and then we build proportionally based on that, we will not get chaos. We will get something kind of like proportional. You see what I'm saying? It's a different approach than what we're doing right now. But right, have the earliest known value, which you probably don't need to manually calculate. Just you can write a formula there to yeah, earliest known year. I mean, we could do it manually, but isn't it convenient how they come up with these little mini functions like min, and then you don't have to even worry about it. Wow. Mm-mm. Let's look at the code again. Oh, the data flow. Something wrong with the data flow. Okay, but yes, but now we need to rescale it so that it doesn't look this ridiculous. So, is it that's throwing it off, right? The scaled arrival here. Yay! See? Now we're talking. You like my solution? Why not? That's not arbitrary. How is it not, 1817 also not arbitrary criteria to select the year? One is the criteria is selecting the earliest known person there. And right. But the other also suffers from similar gaps. All right, go ahead. Let's do it. Let me get some water. You go ahead and set up your magic trick. I'll be Yeah, I can hear you on my AirPods. On my Yeah. Hold on. Let me make my screen look a little bit more professional. Hold on a second. Uh, while I do this. Hold on. Yeah, just give me a second. Just give me a second. Yeah, hold on. Where is it? Where's the OBS? Why isn't OBS? Where's the OBS? Zoom meeting is there. Oh, here it is. Okay, so if I do this, sweet. Can you still hear me? Okay. Yes, that makes a lot of sense what you're saying. But in all of these, the problem is going to be the center. Yeah, I was thinking about that. Maybe. Mhm. Give it a different color. Give each wedge a different color and you'll see it. Mhm. No clue. Right. Right. I have no clue. This is your solution. Mine already, yeah. Right. So the gradient is they're going to communicate how far deep into the center they go rather than the shape. Right. But you want each wedge to have its own different gradient, and you want that gradient to communicate something inside that. Oh, I guess every even if you individualize, you would need to do a circular wedge gradient anyways. Yeah, because a wedge is a circle. It's a slice. Right. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. You were trying to change the where the range of the gradient begins and ends based on the actual height of the slice. Isn't this ellipse what creates that effect in the back, and you're kind of creating a second layer that sits on top of the first layer? Right, didn't work. So now you're trying to create a ghost geometric shape that sits on top of it, right? Yeah. 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 No, well, it looks cool. It doesn't, in terms of having any meaning yet. Uh, we have to stop now because it's 4:56. But because it's 4:56, so is it the time is relative and in your mind? And you can wrap up in 2 minutes. You wrote stop with an E. All right, let's see. Mm. Okay, okay, ish. I see where you're going with this. Okay, are you going to give it a z index of lesser than the other one so that it disappears? Okay. Okay. I mean, this is kind of like, yeah. All right. Yeah. Hmm. Right. Right. Okay. It's a solution. It's a solution. Yeah. We can polish it. Definitely in the when it comes to the polishing sessions, we can revisit. Right. Next week, we continue with the D3. We're going to continue uh, designing these wedges so that they start communicating. Probably by next week, we get to the part where we can focus on meaning and get these wedges to really communicate what we need them to communicate. So we'll see you next week, everybody. Bye, Kay. Bye, Jeremiah. The only two known audience members that I know are there because they were shouted out on live. Yeah, probably. Yeah, and I'll. You want me to turn on the other computer to download the video, or you got it? Well, I'm not recording, so whatever I'm going to download is whatever's on Twitch. Okay. Okay. So I'll get on I'll get on Twitch and download whatever's there. All right. Bye.